Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that this dress is getting tight is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only come for the secret outside. Because I want you to lie. That the only reason I can do tonight is because I really like you. And I can know how I did. What do whatever your mind done. The nicest the close of your touches. Why just tell me that you feel like I do.
This is Jessica Javens Talk, a podcast that helps you transform your life inside out to a life you love. This is season 1, and in today's episode, I have an amazing, incredible woman that you all will fall in love with. Her name is Arthie Roberts, and we're going to be talking about discontent, what that means, how we can deal with that, and how we can leverage that for our own benefit. So, welcome, Arthie. I'm so happy that you were able to join us today. Please feel more than welcome and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be on your podcast today. A little bit about myself. I've been a diversity specialist for the last 27 years. I have a leadership institute. I'm a professional speaker globally, as well as an author of many books. And my passion is actually creating compassionate leaders of influence. So that's a little bit about me.
I love it. So let's start to dig in our topic here about discontent. How do you think that someone should be tuning in or listening to their discontent?
I think one of the brilliant things is actually working out what discontent looks like. Because I feel that a lot of people don't understand the difference between I'm disappointed in something, I'm not feeling so good, I refuse to understand that my gut feeling is giving me hints that there's something wrong and I'm not listening. And I just feel that discontent is when our entire being is screaming at us that everything is wrong in one way or the other, from our environment. It could be a relationship, it could be the way somebody is interacting with us. And then we start to internalize it in a way that we don't feel happy and we don't feel calm and peaceful within ourselves. And so I feel that that is one aspect or a different way to look at discontent. And then we start to project that onto our environment. And I think that if we look for those signs, we're able to work out whether we're just in that moment disappointed with an event or something that happened or a moment, or is it something that's impacting us in our daily interactions, in our reality, and how we feel about our own future because of where we're at in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. Wow, you tapped in a lot of different things. So if a person doesn't know how to maybe pay attention to that, do you have any ideas of how they can start? I know my journey with that was actually something simple, was having
Mm,
a notepad and a pen for me and getting to
mm.
start to write down my thought patterns. And that way it brought awareness to where my discontent was coming from and where my feelings were coming from. That's my experience. What is your experience and how have you been helping people with that? What tips do you have?
Well, I love the fact that you journaled things because that means you worked on actually becoming more hyper aware, and you took it as something intentional, because as you write down things, you're starting to work out where it comes from. And I find that journaling is a beautiful way to do this. But if we're talking about discontent, we've got to go deeper than just writing it down and reflecting on it. I feel that, when we write things down, we're talking about our symptoms. So when we write down what we're not happy with, we're talking about our symptoms. Like, I'm really angry and upset about this. I feel that. So it's more emotional, right? But when you reflect on it, you start to work out the triggers. And this is what I'm working with a lot of people with, is working out where the triggers are, where it started in your life, from a little tiny person, of the way people would have spoken into your life, your surroundings and circumstances, and even the way you interacted with your parents, the tone of their voice, the nuances. And it could have been your first love or first crush when you were very little, and the disappointment. It gets stored in our subconscious mindset. And those memories get stored in our cellular memories. Now, the thing with discontent is it actually starts to show you that something is stored within you that keeps triggering you in your everyday reality now on a conscious level. So when you're journaling, what I love is that you do that. Where I would suggest that our viewers and our people listening in right now who are wanting to know what to look out for, the signs, what to be aware of in behavior. I think that when we feel triggered, our body will show up in different ways. If we're feeling angry or sad, sometimes our faces get red. We feel the burning in our throat. Our ears start to ring. Some people feel like heart palpitations, or their hands clench, or they just go into silent mode. That is the body giving us a way to understand that we've been triggered in some way. There is hurt and there's pain coming. And then what we do is that what we actually create a word to then describe it and say, we're not happy with something. So, but we didn't look at what we needed to do to get rid of that feeling or to realign our thinking around it. Sometimes as human beings, we actually are too scared to delve too deep in case it opens up fears and hurts and traumas that we are not feeling safe enough to deal with or don't have the coping mechanisms to do that. And I use emotional freedom techniques, which is a Japanese art form of healing yourself by tapping on your various pressure points to release the cellular memory stored in the body. Now, the body will manifest symptoms to show you when you are not happy, when you have got discontent in some area in your life, but it gives the opportunity to tap deep into the recesses of your subconscious mindset. Now, there's your conscious belief systems that drives your actions, your behaviors, and your habits on a daily basis. The way you come across, the facades that you show to people, the way you are present or you are not present shows up in that way. And by tapping in using emotional freedom techniques, you're then able to then tap into the reticular activating system, which now realigns the old beliefs and traumas, removes all of that, and then plants a positive belief system and affirms that you're worthy, that you're incredible, that you're awesome as a human being. And if you learn that technique and do it by yourself, it's a few minutes a day. It's a half an hour a day. It's then becoming more aware, more intentional in removing that.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. So you gave us a little bit of a in-depth perspective, and that there is different techniques that we can do in ourselves. The self-healing part, I love that because it empowers us to start right away. We don't depend on so many different things, you know. So it's probably interesting for all of our viewers today. Now, is there a wrong way of dealing with that discontent that maybe people are doing and they don't realize they shouldn't be doing that?
I love that question because I it's something that I came up with a long time ago as okay, so I'm very unfiltered. So I will just say things as it is. I'll just blurt stuff
Love
out.
that. Keep
I,
it coming.
I love it because I think it's like a shock to people's systems because we're so used to being the best version of what other people want us to be rather than our authentic self, and that actually prevents us from being fully present in our soul and spirit journey on this earth. And I feel that when I talk about this, I always say that there's something called projectile dysfunction as a word that I came up with because I thought it was hilarious, right? So people project all the time on each other, and we don't realize that there is something within that person, that is triggered within us, something that we're missing, or something that is unhealed, or a memory that is a trauma. And so when somebody actually interacts with us and we start to reject them, we feel traumatized by their presence, we don't enjoy the energy, we start to project our hurts and our fears on them. And so for people who are looking for how do we look for these signs of us doing it unconsciously, look at who's triggering you and why. When you journal the why, dig down deep inside you to work out how come this was affecting me, and then go back into your memory of when is the first time you experienced that hurt, that pain, that disappointment, when your heart broke. I mean, a lot of people say that I'm broken, and I hate that word. You are not broken as a human being. Nobody can break you as a human being. What they did, if you change the perspective, is they broke your trust, and they broke your belief, and they broke their word, which made it put you in a position to not feel like they are trustworthy anymore, and then puts you in a position to be more careful. So I mean, when you look at projectile dysfunction, it is a direct reflection of that person's character, their belief systems, their biases, their unconscious biases a lot of the times,
Yes.
what they've been programmed to believe and things like that.
Oh my gosh. I can feel your energy from here. All across the other side of the world, I can feel your energy, and it's so, so wonderful. How can the common person right now, right? The people who you go, the companies that you visit and how you start helping them, how can they get this journey started? Where would be the first or maybe the second step of what they could be starting to do right now to tap into that transformation?
I think research would be a stunning one because there's such an abundance of retreats and transformational programs. There are incredible people around the world. What you gotta be and do though is be more decisive and do more research in what resonates with you. But you can't do that if you're not listening to yourself. If you keep listening to all the motivational speakers and everybody that inspires you around the world, that's beautiful as one aspect. The depth of it is to sit down, be in nature, listen to music, go quiet for as long as you can, because that is going to be the deepest reflection you will ever get. Is can you actually stand to be in your own space? Can you look in the mirror and accept yourself and look at yourself long enough to realize that that is your priority, to make yourself the person that is worth loving, worthy of being loved, worth growing together with you on this journey. You're looking at self. And I always talk about the four aspects that we always speak about: the mind, body, spirit. And if you are looking to embark on this journey and you're wanting to know what's my first step, your first step is looking at your mindset. Your mind is the one that is driving your thinking processes, where you overthink, you rethink, you think about what you're thinking, and then you stagnate or you procrastinate. It actually puts you into fear or a block, because then you start to wonder, am I on the right track, or am I going mad? Right? So we're always
Right.
question ourselves. And that's a dangerous one to do, because then we stop ourselves from growing and taking the next step. Your heart is now we're talking into how you're feeling. Am I feeling content in my environment? Does it grow me? Does it add value to me? Am I reciprocating and being given as much as I give? Am I allowing myself to receive as much as I give? Because there's a balance there too. When there's an imbalance and your heart is starting to get to that point where you always give and then people take advantage of you, you become resentful. That will then add to your discontent with the relationship, the environment, your get togethers, your family who are always taking advantage of you. But when you journal it and you actually look for the cause, it's going to be because you allowed that. And when you realize you allowed that, you work out the trigger, and where it started from is that you were looking for acceptance. You did not enjoy rejection. You didn't want you got your heart broken at a young age, or you told you're not good enough, not worthy. You didn't earn the full marks. You're capable of more. So then I'm always looking for credit and acknowledgement. My heart is hurt. Now my brain starts to rethink all of these things and stores that in my subconscious mind. What do those things do to you? Is it hurts your spirit. And when your spirit is hurting, ultimately when all three come together with pain and a disconnect in yourself, you start to feel discontent with your environment. And when that happens, you're now impacting yourself at a soul level. You go into a depression, into a dark state. You reject people. You reject love, being loved. You sabotage your relationships. Abundance mentality goes out the window. You don't realize, even with the children that you have, as much as you love them unconditionally, you still feel like they take all your time, or they're sucking your lifeblood out of you. So you start to use words that get stored in your body, then starts to get manufactured in everything, in your dis-ease. So your mind, body, soul, all and spirit, all of that starts to impact each other. A hurt mind and a hurt heart will give you all of the excuses of why you cannot excel and be the best version of yourself. Your body then reciprocates and creates different disease to show you you're not well enough, and then your soul goes into a spiral. And when you do that, you start to attract the wrong people because now you're vibrating at the wrong level. So when we're delving into this, go and listen to these incredible things, these incredible healing vibes and tunes on YouTube. Journal intentionally to look for the cause based on the symptoms that are coming up for you. Look for emotional freedom techniques. Look for retreats that allows you to be quiet and to quiet the mind and to heal the body, and then the heart follows with the spirit, and then you start to realize there are some incredible men and women on this earth and fascinating young souls. And they're all around us. And when we're starting to resonate at a beautiful level or higher vibration, we attract the right type of people into our lives to guide us on that journey. And I think trust yourself, because you'll start to find all of these answers coming to you in the most unusual ways. So there's a lot of stuff online. There's a lot of people. And I think listening to your podcasts as well helps people to soothe themselves into a state of understanding that they are not alone. Being on these podcasts and listening to even your previous podcasts and people coming, in the future, allows them to have some sort of discipline to realign all areas of their thinking, their beliefs, their wants, their needs, all the different, the different intelligent wisdoms that's flowing through this world. And with you bringing in so many different people in the podcast, you tapping into their wisdom to add value to people. So I'd say also get on the podcast, listen to your podcasts and see what value they can now bring intentionally into their lives.
Absolutely. I think the person just needs, our listeners just need to allow themselves to give themselves to open up that possibility. And once you go in, and that's where the lights start, becoming brighter and brighter. So absolutely, you've brought so much wisdom today, and I appreciate that so much. But there's a little bit more that I want to get from you before we come to a conclusion here. When we talked, you shared just so many and powerful things, and I feel like we need to do this more, and because it's so fascinating. And you have been making such a difference in the world and impacting people, and a lot of them women, so much so that you have been recognized for that. And I am thrilled that you're here today. So what would you, if you have to choose something right now that you would like to leave the listeners with, something that they can carry out and feel renewed, share that with us, please.
Ooh, these two awesome ones. Okay,
Okay.
wait. There's three awesome
Okay.
sayings. I'll
Okay.
say it very quickly, right? The first one that really changed my life was a saying by Eleanor Roosevelt, When she says, nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. No one can make you feel bad, good, ugly, not good enough, worthless. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. So exactly what you said right now with all of our viewers, what will you allow yourself to do, become, have, so that you can create the best version of yourself? The second one is a saying that I wrote, is give yourself full permission that you do not have to like every person you interact with. However, your ability to show respect and be respectful is a direct reflection of your character as a human being, which means that you are always in charge of the way you treat other people, how you feel. And if you are feeling discontent in your life, you're feeling a disconnect in your life, you have got the full choice and the ability not to project that sadness, hurt, or anything that you're feeling onto other people. It's your responsibility to do something about it. And my third one would be the glass ceiling does not exist. Stop buying into that nonsense.
Wow.
Because glass is see-through, it is transparent, and it can be shattered, which means the glass ceiling effect that everybody beautifully talks about was meant to actually stifle your growth and give you excuses of why you cannot prosper or grow, because then you're allowed to blame somebody else. It's my circumstances, the way I grew up, it's my parents, it's alcoholism, it was abuse when I grew up. I had too much money, I had not enough. I didn't have enough attention. I didn't have a lot of money, but I didn't have opportunity. So there's always the excuses because I'm a man, I'm a woman, it's my age, it's my sexual orientation, all of those excuses. The glass ceiling does not exist. I'm saying shatter that in your mindset so that you can actually choose to have the most fantastic life and journey on this earth because you decided to. Discontent will go out the door because you decided to. You are always in charge of your life. You are always in charge of the choices you make. You are always in charge of the reasons for you to overcome because you have that ability to. The human spirit, the mind, the body, the soul has got the most incredible ability to heal itself.
Mhm.
You nurture yourself, and you are sitting in the most powerful position to become the best version that you deserve to be, and that is the best.
That's the essence of power. You said that beautifully. Thank you so much. That is an amazing thing that people, if they haven't realized it yet, they need to come to realization that the power within is far greater than any situation, condition, or circumstances that we're in. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I would love for people to be able to reach you, know where they can follow you, this shining person here. So if you can share that with us, please, I would love that.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I think the best way would be on LinkedIn. Looking for me with my full name, Arthie Moore Roberts, and our website, www.kileadership.com. T
Perfect.
is for energy, Key Leadership Institute.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you
you.
so much for that. This program is brought by Forever Living, the best aloe vera juice in the world that helped my wellness to be transformed, and produced by the I Am Beast Network. My name is Jessica Javens, and this is Jessica Javens Talk.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby. The only reason that I can do tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that this dress is skin tight is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only come for the secret of sights because I want you to like it. The only reason I can do